Now, I returned to the game very close to the end of Engineer update, and I was shocked how horrible connections were, as I get booted out as soon as I made a jump, attempted to jump, or even so much as thought of jumping. In short, the game was in an abysmal state when I came back. But luckily for me, 2.2 was just around the corner. Still, I'm not here to talk about my experience in being a child on a rainy day jumping puddles. I'm here to take a look at, in my mind, aside from planetary landings perhaps, the best feature of Horizon's expansion, the engineers. Those little needy wankers able to juice up our ship so much that if they were human they would be just one big muscle with steroids for blood. So I usually started positives, but you know what, let's mix it up. The negatives. So in essence, engineers work rather straightforward. Once you meet a specific goal, an engineer becomes available for unlocking. And to do so, you need to provide this grease monkey with different things. Be that bounty from ships you've killed, Leviathan booze for heavy alcoholics, or a crate of dildos for nymphomaniacs. Now, this kind of progression system is lovely to see, but that butt has plenty of pimples, so let's take our magnifying glasses and dig in. Okay, at this point it sounds like some sort of reverse war porn or something. Now then, each engineer has certain things they can enhance, and the more you use these engineers, the higher grade upgrades they can provide. Yet another progression system that's cool to see, but again, that's not the pimple I was talking about. See, each upgrade requires you to have some sort of data or material, and these things were stored in your ship somewhere, or most likely duct taped on the outside. But anyways, the point is, they don't take any cargo space. Now, aside from that, you also had to have some sort of commodity. Now, that did take up some cargo space. Now, that particular aspect sort of did limit how many rolls you could do for upgrades, but also made it extremely annoying to collect and then transport around, especially if you forgot to put cargo bay on your ship you wanted to upgrade. And speaking of these commodities, some of them were just mission rewards only, which made their acquisition even more horrendous. I don't get it. What were devs thinking? But fear not, for now at least. Devs have since removed the need for commodities, so now you just need materials and data. But the fact that the whole thing was designed to have that semi-random item requirement was just absolute horseshit. And once more, speaking of horseshit, you know what's worse? The bullshit that goes on with RNGs. The amount of randomness going on to collect data or materials for engineers is so great. It feels like the second coming followed by the third and the fourth coming, right in our faces. See, to those that have not caught on, every data piece, every material is generated in some random fashion. Obviously there are the ones that are tossed out like week old diapers that are only good for low level upgrades, but then there are materials that are rare as fuck, and at times when I go hunting for them I feel as if I would have better chance to find competent leaders for Latvian government than finding that particular material or data piece. The amount of time you have to spend just floating about hoping that the game would grant you even a modicum of those super rare one-legged tongues for Palin, because apparently he has the taste for finer things, is absurd. Yet this is not the end of it. Oh fuck me sideways on the railroad track with the fucking ass scout. There's fucking more of RNGesus. Is this like some sort of fucking cult or what? See, each upgrade also features a random roll benefit, so in theory you can get shit roll after shit roll. That doesn't help you in the slightest, and you waste your materials for nothing, and you have to do the search for even more of them. Just talking about this stuff makes me sick. Best of all, I have not seen this sort of a feature even in free-to-play games. See, we would not be disappointed if this feature would not make ships crazy powerful, which is also the reason why I consider it to be the best in the expansion. Oh, but here's a personal grudge with the whole rolling business. When I first tried engineers, I immediately associated the whole process of gathering materials and rolling them for stats with how gambling slot machines work. Seriously, I never expected this from a video game about space and starships, but here we are, teaching people how to fucking gamble. Or at least that's how it feels to me. But whatever, some people just chuck this as a petty concern, that's about it. Another problem that engineering faced was steroid overuse. See, thanks to engineers, you can make almost any ship into anything you wanted. You want to do combat in Holler? Pfft, no problem. Here's over-engineered mods that make you stronger than Viper or Cobra. Wanna explore in Federation ships? No problem. Just poke Farseer in the face and get godlike FSD that puts Lakon to shame. See, with engineers, the importance of picking a different ship for an appropriate role was all but exterminated. And to be frank, it's kind of sad. Now, similar point was also raised in Commander Jam4's Reddit post a while back, and I agree that experimentation sort of is gone, as you can pick up any ship, drug it up, and then send it on its merry way to beat ever-loving living giving shit out of anything that so much as dares to move. Still, if you care to read up on all the stuff that Jam4 wrote, link will be in the description. I highly recommend you looking it up. It's short and so fucking sweet. Now, those were the negatives. Here are some positives that, as said in the beginning, are the ones that make this feature the best one in the expansion. Well, maybe aside from the planetary landings. Okay, so I talked about engineers making any ship good, or at least better, because really, no matter how many steroids you throw at the hauler, it will always be shit bucket in my eyes. Slightly tougher looking shit bucket, that's for sure, but the same effect can be achieved with just some extra scrap too, you know? Anyways, here's the thing, I love to try out new things, and this very much includes ships. So for example, if I find a ship that I really like visually, I can improve it to make fit for what I want to use it for, essentially giving me the ability to improve something I like and make it better, so by the end of it I get a ship that I'm no longer disappointed in, but something I enjoy all aspects of. For example, my second favorite ship, Vulture. Anyone who has piloted or tinkered with this ship for long enough will tell you, its power plant is extremely small. Now with engineers I can upgrade my ship, and in the result of doing so, I enjoy it more. But seriously, in general, engineers allow us to basically break the game. Yet in my eyes, it's quite a fun game-breaking feature, at least when you look at the results, not the grind. And now when you think about it, we oftentimes tend to forget how much shit we go through to get something bright and shiny. And all that matters is the little shiny butt plug we get at the end of the day. And yet because you can make your ships insanely good, you'll have easier time fighting, piloting, or doing whatever perverted things you want. It'll still be challenging as you progress, but having that extra boost in my experience only adds to the enjoyment I've had with engineered ships. Though when it comes to using those engineered ships on other people, well, it's a mixed bag, because let's face it, most people fly with only slightly modded or not modded ships, and this does not help their survival, creating even bigger gap between those sorts of players. So, in conclusion, well, this feature is fun to have, and in my experience has added to the level of customization I can put on my ships, making it slightly deeper experience. But that puddle can be dug only that deep before you start digging up shit. In this case, it's all the random stuff that's making this feature look like a dumpster fire train wreck. The grind you must do for the materials and then multiply it with the random rolling makes you feel like a professional addict gambler, which in turn makes this feature absolutely disgusting. But the sad part is, we still do it. We still do it because we're addicts, and the charlatan actually offers some good crack sometimes. Say what you will, you religious zealots, we need to get rid of RNGesus. His time is past, and really, whenever game developers resort to praying to him, you know that someone in the company could not lift his hand to be creative and come up with something interesting. Now those were my thoughts and opinions only, so I wonder, what do you think about this? So let me know down below. But till then, I'll be probably in the corner nearby sucking my own thumb because the crack dealer's late again.